Welcome. It is time for our weekly visit with Cooper Mays. The Vol Report brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. City Heat and Air Integrity Matters. Go to cityheatandair.com. Coop, how are you, sir?
Can't complain at all. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. And we were talking before we started, as I think most players do, loading up on class in the spring semester. So you're a busy man.
Yeah, it's seeming like that. I was thinking that once I would get into a rhythm of everything, it would kind of smooth out, but it's not looking like it. So I guess
You will, you will. We're just a couple weeks into the semester, but
hopefully.
I certainly know the feeling. So, yeah, I wanted to visit with you this week and talk toughness and identity of an offensive line because it's always a group effort. And we haven't even talked much as many times as we talked about your offensive line coach, Glen Elarbee. He kind of keeps a low profile a lot of the times. Other coaches are oftentimes up front and talking to the media, but he really doesn't. And what can you tell me about Glen Elarbee, your offensive line coach?
A really special guy. I mean, definitely not probably what most O-line coaches are like, but like you said, he kind of stays out of the way and just does his own little thing. He loves football, loves coaching it, but he loves doing it his own little way. And he's I would say he's like stuck in his ways, but that's his way fits him, and he does it very well, and I think he'll probably stay doing that.
How would you describe his way, so to speak?
He's a lot more probably relaxed than most O-line coaches, is what I would say. That's the first thing, and then I think he just enjoys ball is really what it is. I mean, he's not huge on recruiting. He's not huge on media and like being out there. Like that's not his thing. He loves getting in the meeting room and then putting hands on and then just molding men and molding better players. So I love Coach Ellerby. I think you could probably ask every O lineman on Tennessee's roster that's played for him. I mean, you're going to get probably resounding yeses out of everybody that they love him. So he does his thing the right way, and it fits him really well.
An offensive line has, at the very least, 10 people with input when you include players and coaches and the guys that are backup. So I'm curious in general, not only this offensive line, but throughout your career going back to high school, where does that identity come from most of the time? Is it players, coaches, or a little bit of both?
Shoot, I'd say a little bit of both, but it has to be spearheaded by players, I would say. I mean, me personally, me and my family, Cade and me have kind of been brought up to play that way. Like we knew that that was kind of the way that the game had to be played, just based off our dad. Our dad was really, tough on me and Cade, especially Cade, and he made it very clear that the first time, like the first thing you do on a football field is you are the first one off the ball, and then you insert your will on your opponent. So I think finishing is just something that has to be kind of a little bit intrinsically motivated, but it's definitely got to be preached by the coach. There's you have to have finishers on the offensive line. I mean, it's a non-negotiable. If you don't have finishers on the offensive line, you're not going to be very good.
Yeah, that makes sense. You had been through other coaches before. Was there a moment that Glenn kind of won you over that you liked his approach?
I don't know if it was a moment more than just kind of a gradual, trusting and just seeing. It's hard because fans don't probably see it as much. Obviously, they aren't in the building or anything, but it's hard to. Not every coach you're gonna have you're gonna love, and then not. It's hard to know. Just like it is in life, you don't know. You're pretty resistant to change as a human, and then I feel like I am gradually let people in. I'm pretty reserved on falling in love with people, kind of, so to speak. But so I withhold a lot of my judgment, but I can see the way that Coach Ellerby cares for us, and he shows up with a love for us every day, and that trumps his personal carings. What's going on with him, that led to me just loving the guy who he is.
Yeah, when you come in, it's a different coaching staff. So I imagine to some extent, whoever came in would have to win you guys over, right?
Yeah, every coach has to win people over. Or it's not going to work. I mean, I don't I obviously have not been in the workplace, but I mean, if you hate your boss, you're probably not gonna work very hard for him, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you love your manager and you love your boss, I'm sure it probably, it's all about morale. Everything in this world I feel like is about morale and like you gotta give a dog a treat, you know what I'm saying? Every once in a while, you can't just, beat down the dog every day and expect him to just, love up on you and treat you the right way. So you've gotta give a dog a treat, tell people when they're doing good, and encourage them, and then when the time's right, you got to slap them on the butt a little bit. But there's got to be give and take here, and I think our whole staff as a whole does it. But especially Ellerby, he's very good.
Who I think I know what you're gonna say, but as far as some of the guys who spearheaded this offensive line, and again, it's one of the stories that I believe is a little bit lost. We talk about the speed of this offense, and people want to say maybe it's finesse, but you guys are a run first offense, and if somebody doesn't look closely, I don't think they see that. Who are some of the players maybe that spearheaded that? Maybe you included the physicality of this offensive line last year.
Last year, gotta I'd say I would say it was a whole act. You know what I'm saying? It was a If you look across the whole offensive line, I mean, JJ, Gerald at left tackle, they both finish. Jerome, me, Sprags, Darnell. I mean, if you watch the tape, everything's littered with finishing, and it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy to do in our offense. I mean, try going out there and being 320 pounds and running around and not stopping for like 5 minutes straight. All in the meanwhile, while you're doing all that, you're trying to block a man. So I mean, it's hard. It's hard to be a finisher in our offense, but it like I said, it's a non-negotiable. So, we find a way. There's got to be a way.
There are some rule changes that are being proposed by the NCAA that might keep the clock running after incomplete passes, or might keep the clock running after a first down before 2 minutes left in the half. And that would result in fewer plays overall, maybe about 25 fewer plays. As far as wearing people down, how does that strike you in general? Just the thoughts of fewer plays.
I don't really see it could probably go either way. I mean, every rule probably, is a thorn in your back one game and the next game it could be the thing that saves you. So you never really know. Heck, there's been some games where I'm sure I was like, man, I wish they would, probably hold the ball a little bit longer. I mean, there's some games where you probably want a little bit less plays, but there's probably some games where you want a little bit more. So who knows? I'm obviously, not a ref or anything. So I can't judge. I just do what I'm told. But I mean, it could go either way. I don't really know how to react to that one.
Well, how much of your tempo do you think affects teams throughout the game? I know within a drive, somebody can get tired after 8 plays, but how
I,
much more fatigued are they in the 4th quarter as opposed to the 1st?
I would say it definitely has an effect on people, but I think during the drive is the main thing where it hurts people. But I think moreover, it's probably your mentality that breaks people's wills. It's not the tempo. You know what I'm saying? So if you want a team to quit in the fourth quarter, you got to do that with your own hands. It's not going to be your tempo. But definitely, I'm not going to sit here and lie. It's definitely it takes people's souls during the drive. I mean, there's a lot of people that tap out. You probably don't see them on the screen as much, but we've gotten a lot of touchdowns based off of people just simply can't give their whole effort the next play.
How gratifying is it when you're pushing on somebody, you can feel them kind of break late in the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter?
It's great for me. I love it. I mean, if you watch the whole Alabama game back, I mean, I don't think anybody would probably say it from them, but I think we imposed our will a lot in that game, and I think they. I mean, I think the culmination of that whole game. You can look at the video of JJ throwing up and nodding at the D lineman, and they were just sitting over there like they didn't want any. But we love it. We love stuff like that.
Is that one of the stories JJ throwing up? Because that came up today with somebody else, and then kind of looking at Alabama and said, "Here it comes." I mean, is that one of those that you'll be telling for the rest of your life?
I'm sitting here talking about it today, so I guess it might be one of those. I don't it's pretty regular, but it's not regular that it gets caught on camera, so who knows?
So does he get sick before or during every game? Is that pretty common?
No, I wasn't saying him specifically. I'm saying, like, just O linemen in general throwing up. I mean, there have been multiple games where I've thrown up, you know, on the way running to the ball, right beside the ball. I've thrown up on the ball. I mean, there's so many instances of you just getting so I I'm not kidding you. Like, people don't recognize, our fat butts running down there. When we get done with a drive, when we score a touchdown, like, you can't even celebrate. You run. I mean, you don't even hardly run. You make your way off the field and you go sit down, and you're so tired that you don't even want to drink water. Like, I can't even drink water because I'm trying to, like, it would impede my breathing. So, like, that's how tired I am. If I that's the best way I can explain it. You're so tired that you don't want water.
I want to get to that, but you have to tell me about a time that you've thrown up on the ball.
Oh, it was in practice. I mean, that's different. I've There was a game, Vandy my freshman, there was a play where, that was one of the games I started, and I was playing center, and Trey Smith was beside me, and he was like he was yelling at me, and we got down on the ball, and we were running a little bit of hurry up back in the old style of offense, so it probably wasn't that fast, but, I was feeling it. So, we were running to the ball, and it was like he was yelling. He's like, "Coop, what's the call? Coop, what's the call?" And I couldn't even say anything. Like, I didn't say, "I can't make the call." I didn't say anything. I literally just looked over and just, "Whoa," just started throwing up while lying down. And then, like, as soon as I start throwing up, I hear Trey's like, "The call's ace, 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 ace." And
So
so he just made the call for me like a great guy like he is. So that was that. I mean, there's plenty of stories probably of me throwing up more than anybody else, but
so so he stepped in for you. That's why you call him your big bro and you're his little bro.
yeah, that's where it probably started, I guess.
Yeah. But brothers born in puke, basically.
Puke, puke. There we go.
When that happens, do you tell the quarterback my bad, or if when you throw up on the ball, or do you just roll with it?
Hendon didn't seem to care. I didn't seem to care either though. So who knows? Yeah, I guess no. I mean, the definitely not in this offense. You can't turn around for nothing because it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. But some stuff just happens in the game of football, and you got to roll with it.
It's gold. The Vault Report brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. Integrity matters. It's getting to the point where I know that spring's going to hit, maybe not quite where you are, but when it does, know that if you're in the Knoxville area, you may not need a whole entire HVAC unit. You may just need a part, you may need some Freon. Well, integrity matters. Other people might throw just a new unit at you, but City Heating and Air Conditioning will take care of you. Cityheatandair.com. So you have a new offensive line analyst, and it seems certainly like a group effort nowadays in college football. That there were times where you just had 9 assistant coaches, but now with the analyst and other guys that can contribute, you do have a group. Tell me about Micah James, who's been hired as an analyst. What do you know about him so far?
Yeah, new guy. I think we hired him from Utah. I think is if I'm correct. He's been in a couple meetings. I can't probably give you a full rundown or anything on him, but Coach Elarbee loves him. He played for Coach Elarbee at MTSU. Said he was one of the best centers he's ever had. So it's good for me. Definitely, the more help you can get, the better. So super excited to learn from him. But seems like a great guy from what I've limited time I've been around him. But yeah, excited to work with him.
Yeah, it's funny. We talk about Alex Golish. We talk about now he's at South Florida, and then we talk about advancing guys like Joey Halsley and on and on. Alec Ablin moving up and getting hired, promoted from within, and I wonder how much of the offense and how it's groomed and created a game plan each and every week is a group effort. Because I think a lot of people just point to Josh Heupel and say he's the guy, he's coming up with all this. But from all the conversations I have with you and Jacob and around the program, it really is a system in which everybody is contributing. How would you describe that?
Yeah, right. I mean, I obviously can't, speak for what, exactly goes on upstairs all the time because I'm not, there for those meetings or whatever. But there's I'm sure Hype will be the first one to tell you that he can't do this alone and that, no head coach can do it alone. So I'm sure every head coach would be the first to tell you they have plenty of help. The first thing you can do is surround yourself with great people around you. So I think that was the first thing Heupel did, and I think he loves the guys that are here and trusts them a lot. So that leads to them feeling like they have a voice. So there's a lot of smart guys in football. I mean, not everybody was Nick Saban at first. So, I'm sure Nick Saban was that analyst one day that just started up for his first day. So there's plenty of ideas that come around, and you never know who's going to flourish into a great coach. So you got to hear everybody out.
Yeah, I'm one of the dummies that when Nick Saban was hired at LSU from Michigan State, said it was a terrible hire because he wouldn't be a good fit, and that wasn't a good hire. How dumb do I look now?
That's yeah, that's not well, I guess it wasn't a good hire for LSU. I mean, I don't know. Did they win a natty that they won a natty there, didn't they?
They did. He won a national title, went to the Dolphins, and then came back, and the rest is history. So
Yeah,
that was
that's not good on your part. That's not good. Right? That's not
nothing.
that's not gonna get your ratings up for sure.
Yeah, it's nothing to be proud of. I don't mention that for awards possibilities. But have you ever wanted to be a coach?
No, not really, no. But I think I could be a damn good coach personally. But no, I don't think it's for me. I this just the hours are crazy. The hours are so crazy, and you get taken away from your family for so many, so much just gets taken out of your life for giving it to coaching, and it's a hard ladder to climb. It really is. I mean, unless you find yourself in a really, special predicament where you get moved up quick. I mean, you're spending, those analysts like we're talking about. I mean, you spend years and years and years there. So not my gig, but I think I could be a really good line coach. Let me probably put that out there. Maybe I'll change my mind at some point.
I think you could too, but you seem like the type of guy that when he's getting his NFL Hall of Fame jacket, you've already got like 3 or 4 businesses going on, and you're not a coach. That's the feel I get.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the most money possible with the least work put in. I'm trying to be a big passive income guy. So
There
that's
you go.
my gig.
There you go. All right. Coop, great stuff as always. We appreciate you. The Vol Report brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. Integrity matters, a presentation of Off the Hook Sports.